Over the years, we've seen some great, classic, iconic sci-fi flicks. Now, before we hit warp speed and we start this top 5, I want you all to know these are my personal favorite sci-fi movies of all time. They might not all be the technically best ones or all critically acclaimed, but these are just my personal preferences and my favorite movies. Now, I have seen all these classic sci-fi flicks flashing beside my head. These are all really great movies, but they're just not my personal favorite. Oh my god, how'd that get here? These I want to be on the list too! Okay, topping off the list is 2009 Star Trek. This was technically a reboot of the franchise of Star Trek, and I know what you're thinking. Why isn't Wrath of Khan number 5, John? Well, that's a really good movie. I really like it, but something about this rebooted 2009 Star Trek movie, after watching it several times, because the first time I seen this movie, I didn't really like it all that much, and after a few more viewings, I kind of fell in love with it, and I feel like that's why I like the movie so much. It grew on me and got better every time I watched it. And I thought J.J. the Lens Flare Abrams style of filmmaking worked perfectly for this reboot Star Trek. I like the way that they redid things in this movie. I really enjoyed the character moments between Spock and Kirk in this movie, and Zachary Quinto, who played the new incarnation of Spock, he nailed that character perfectly, and he brought something new to the character of Spock while staying true to what Leonard Nimoy originally did. Rip Leonard Nimoy. Live long and prosper. Aliens, the sequel to Alien, the 1986 film, which just became more badass and brutal. It was directed by James Cameron, and what he did is he took that very slow, cold, dark, and menacing Alien movie, and he turned it into a big action movie. And by the way, my favorite line in this movie...
Get away from her, you bitch!
Now, what is the premise to Aliens? It's about a small group of Marines stuck on this outpost with a shit ton of firepower, and they gotta survive. Just the concept alone sounds really cool. And the movie has a lot of great, likable, funny characters, such as Bill Paxton's character, Private Hudson. Well, fuck, man! That's my Bill Paxton impression. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. 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 Okay, I'll just put this over here for now. T2 Judgment Day, my favorite action movie of all time. But this isn't my favorite action movies list, this is my favorite sci-fi movies of all time. So on this list, it comes in at number 3. The movie stars the big buff charismatic, the best action hero of all time, Arnold Schwarzenegger as a cybernetic organism riding around with little John Connor on his motorcycle. And I'll be honest with you, ever since I seen this movie as a young kid on beta tape, which my dad recorded off of TV, yeah, beta tapes, those sucked ass. But that's all we had in the early 90s, or at least my family, because we were too poor for VHS for a very long time. But ever since I seen this movie, I always fascinated about being little John Connor in these movies, and this big robot was my best friend protecting me.
Jesus, you were gonna kill that guy!
Of course, I'm a Terminator.
Listen to me very carefully. You can't just go around killing people like that.
Why?
Now, T2 Judgment Day came out back in 1991, and some of the effects nowadays might look a little bit dated, but when you watch this movie as a whole, the effects in this movie blend in almost seamlessly because the movie's so immersive, it just sucks you into this environment, and you're on the edge of your seat the entire time. Hasta la vista. I don't even know why I said that, but it's a really good movie. The original Star Wars trilogy, and I know what you're thinking. You're like, you're cheating, dude. That's 3 movies. Well, yeah, technically it is 3 movies, but in my opinion, it's all one big, long, very cool, badass, epic sci-fi movie with Han Solo, Chewie, and the Millennium Falcon. And look over there, there's Princess Leia. Oh my god. Now, when it comes to the Star Wars movies, what can I say that hasn't been said already? Well, I can say this, I got a huge Stormtrooper over there, and a huge Darth Vader down there. And I have this huge Darth Vader Pez dispenser right here, which I ate all the Pez out of a long time ago. So that's pretty much the most original thing I can say about Star Wars that hasn't been said already. Oh my god, there's another one in there! Now, when it comes to the original Star Wars trilogy, when I think about going into a movie theater or staying at home and having a good time, eating popcorn, watching iconic characters go throughout space on an epic adventure, well, Star Wars is the movie that comes to mind. And by the way, speaking of science fiction films and Star Wars, Topps, the trading card company, has a brand new app where you can go on there and collect and trade vintage or new Star Wars cards featuring all the characters throughout the galaxy. You can pick up packs of cards digitally on the app. There's new and vintage cards to choose from. The Star Wars Card Trader app is free to download. I'll put a link down below in the description box. Definitely go there and check it out. Like I said, you can go on the app, you can choose what cards you want to collect and trade with other people that also have the app. So if you're a fan of Star Wars and enjoy card collecting, go to the link down below, download the app, check it out for yourself. 1.21 gigawatts! It's Back to the Future. By the way, check out my Back to the Future poster over there. Hey Doc, what are you doing? That's my Michael J. Fox impression. Now, why is this movie number one on my list? Well, it all comes back down to personal preference. Ever since I was a young kid, I remember watching this movie over and over. And ever since watching that movie as a young kid, I've probably seen the movie at least 100 times by now. It's always done the same thing for me. It's always just made me feel really calm, secure, a little bit magical, a little bit mystical, and just really warm and fuzzy inside. And every time I watch the movie now, it has that exact same effect. Every character in the film Back to the Future stands out. You have Doc Brown, the wacky, crazy scientist. It's just one of those weird, crazy guys you want to know. He reminds me of my Uncle Gary, which, by the way, my Uncle Gary is actually locked up in an insane asylum in Massachusetts right now. Kind of a true story. And then you have the character of Marty, played by Michael J. Fox, and the comedic timing of Michael J. Fox in this movie is spot on. You really buy him as Marty. And then you have the antagonist of the film, Biff. And by the way, I get this at least 25 times a day in the YouTube comments. Yes, I'm aware that I look like Biff, so let me make like a tree and get out of here. And last but certainly not least, my favorite character in the film Back to the Future is the DeLorean. Yeah, we've all wanted to time travel, and why not do it in a DeLorean? 80s style at its best. Yeah, you just put that shit up to 88 miles per hour and you can go anywhere you want in time. By the way, this is the DeLorean from Back to the Future 2. Where we're going, we don't need roads. Okay, so that's my top 5 favorite sci-fi films of all time. Now here's my question to you, and let me know down below, what are your top 5 favorite sci-fi films of all time? Yeah, put it down below. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.